The Church of State. Quickened again and reformed in that smoldering patience native to the cold-eyed north, where honeyed wine, riven pine, and tar rose aromatic from dark Hanseatic holds. They sharpened hulls to cut water. And in the itchy cloth halls of Flanders, wherein echoed brisk footsteps and winter cough, packed with the industrious yield of Rome-hating spiders working treadles with lean legs, their webs shall not become garments. They brooded mercantile plots in creaking houses of wood, with a high view of the sea. They'd had their fill of hearth tax, popery, lèse-majesté, and damnable hungry fleas. Their children played with tiny ships. The shame in dignified frowns was essential, amplified by quill cramp and aching teeth, as their ledgers divided the world into red and black columns ruled on white pages, mixing wasp gall and vitriol. Abroad they suckled wolf tit in the world's underhand schools of cool dissimulation, and they grew formidable, but seldom fat, these keen men of long heads, deep purposes. Profit is the white man's burden. Princes of pepper and clove, dreaming fortunes to be made, selling forks to the Chinese, grown wiser since the lean days of hawking moth-eaten wool to those who've never seen snow. The customer is always right. But a treasure so slender as the soul is quickly lost in deep pockets, dark ditches, full of rum, negroes and gold, slave beads, opium and salt, dungaree, gunpowder and tea. For the tree is known by her fruit. Clearly some were elected, graced with faith and predestined to dispense with wasted works, justified by the results of buying low and selling highs to the huddled masses. Would I be my brother's keeper? Humbly they once wrung their hands, mumbling the Holy Scripture, but numbers now command them. They found the dozen suspect for its folkish willingness to be split so many ways. What are fingers but for counting? Children who cipher by tens learn first to divide by 2. Good for me spells bad for you. Swindlers' digits come to serve soft pink hands which firmly grip the shit-free end of the stick. Figures don't lie. Liars figure. Nothing proves God's love for you like success. Ask anyone who's ever knit or undone the knots that bind the world's tribes, marshaled beneath all standards in a grinding world of clocks. Early to bed, early to rise. Mind your own business begat the public display of faith in state and private sector. Ethics answered lifestyle, decisions based upon choice, morsels of pragmatism. Look no more into hearts of men. The same stroke that unfettered conscience left it rudderless in a sea of reckoning. When the soul is cut away from the world, only mundane crumbs remain on cold tables, starving the best part of the mind. The secular was sundered from sanctified encumbrance with a Pharisee cunning, and lost no time becoming a pillow to lift the ass of lewd opportunities. hedonic calculus forebode. Brow blistered with arcane brands, the corporation was raised by the dead hand of the past, while brazen chairmen stole seats lately warmed by noblemen, hiccuping bishops, and kings. Worms in the body politic. Jacobin rhetoric then dismembered old empires into fly-flecked nation-states, which were in turn devoured by captains of industry, squirming in spoiled ideals. A harvest of heads in baskets. The survival of the fit became our most sacred myth, justifying status quo, as revealed in lurid dreams of nature, in bloody skirts, all nasty, brutish, and short. Now it's every man for himself. The tangles of ignorance resist even the patient plucking of dexterous fingers. The more expedient path? Morals cleft clean from actions, travesty of wrongs as rights. No servant can serve two masters. But the subtler mind perceives sin's sad condition itself as measured retribution. Gluttony, pride, and envy fret the stages of global flea market hypocrisy. Ye have made it a den of thieves. Capitalism once feigned a wise husband's care for wealth, but the perverse twin triumphs. Consumerism now comes to reward the covetous with accumulated debt, led by an invisible hand. The exclusive new temples welcome the moneylenders with financial services, while the undeserving poor must endure wolves taught to read actuarial tables, as certain as death and taxes. Pulpiteers of the old church would struggle to recognize their amnesiac offspring. These gnaw dog Latin in packs and favor white-collar crime, but they've no use for the soul. Thou hast multiplied thy merchants. Quacks and lawyers wait upon our bodies, lands, and chattel, squeezing fruits of the schism, commissioning small armies to help bury their mistakes deep in churchyards and prisons. What's out of sight is out of mind. Economists are favored with high rank, oracular, and supremely Byzantine, singing mythic scarcity in tremulous castrato, scored by exacting patrons. Rid me of this troublesome priest. But the might of jealous scribes thrives disavowed and unseen, laying eggs in moist darkness, swarming behind cabinets, boards and bureaus, bar and bench, in mortal fear of the light. Quick to sting with venomous pen. Nobody's responsible. Just ask the Cyclops begging for a sharp stick in the eye. The bookkeeper is nameless. He who applies for justice is somehow lost in the post. Out of the many comes the none. The panopticon has grown fat with the facts of its own networked apotheosis. And still Leviathan lists, fly-blown with ism and ist, taking us down as it goes. Look upon my works, ye mighty. Peerless pusher of limits, the state makes bold to flourish the sacred torch of freedom. Granted, it scarcely flickers, but guttering low provides liberal smoke for the hive. Beware the wrecker's false beacon. All this such as I have seen reflect in the darkling glass polished by each passing year. Seers with rearward twisting necks glimpse the dim future shifting in mirrors of what has been. There's nothing new under the sun. States of late escape the chains that foiled or fixed their range, rising fast like new-fold gods, while old religious habits, deranged somewhat and threadbare, are cloaked in lexical change. The cunning clerk from cleric cleft. Furies now becloud dark skies, impartial as the mirror that reflects a sickly face. Meantime, the groundlings debate which footbinders they'll favor, prophets and saviors, or states. A road paved with good intentions. Every host, creed, cause, or faith draws its strength from unity by law routinely imposed, rather than disclosed within the dreaming atom of self, marked by these as mutiny. Thou shalt have no gods before me. Who remembers character, emblem of instance and kind? Rightwise it signs singleton. Degraded it brands the set, the former unique, priceless, the latter commonly dreck. In me alone are laws fulfilled. All collective nouns resound with emptiness absolute. Dust collects in the hollows. Only single men draw breath or dare to divine questions no crowd could ask or answer. Free your mind, your ass will follow. Neither church nor state exist, nor this hybrid tyrant thing, milking titles, tag, and tax, while suckling witless factions on digital distractions and reactionary fears. They hate us because we are free. Enough of both, and in hand, enough of either and or. The old question still stands fast. What quickens? Nor church nor state, our flesh was made to answer. The sole, timeless, true asking. Is this how you would have it be?